Russia sanctions cripple economy.
Iran unable to access international markets.
Venezuela's economy collapses.
One piece of paper. That's all it took to bring entire nations to their knees. It's not gold, it's not oil, it's not even backed by anything physical, yet kings bow to it, superpowers hoard it, and billions of people who've never set foot in America depend on it to survive. Right now in your pocket, you might be carrying the most powerful weapon on earth and you don't even know it. Every single second, $200,000 worth of transactions happen in US dollars, not in America, around the world. A farmer in Vietnam selling coffee to Brazil, dollars. A tech company in India buying equipment from Germany, dollars. A family in Argentina trying to save for their future. They don't trust their own currency. They save in dollars. 88%. Almost 9 out of every 10 international transactions on this planet involve a currency from one country that only represents 4% of the world's population. But here's what they don't tell you. America doesn't just control the dollar controls America's enemies, and that weapon is more powerful than any military on earth. 2012, Iran's nuclear program is advancing. The US could invade, lose thousands of soldiers, spend trillions, or they could do this. One signature. Cut Iran from the dollar system. Within months, Iran's currency lost 80% of its value. Inflation exploded to 40%. Their oil, the second largest reserves on earth, became nearly worthless. Why? Because oil is sold in dollars. No dollars, no buyers, no buyers, no economy. North Korea, Venezuela, Russia. The pattern repeats. America doesn't invade anymore. They just turn off the dollar tap, but this power didn't happen by accident. It was designed in a secret meeting in the middle of a world war by men who understood one thing: whoever controls money controls everything. July 1944. While soldiers are dying on D-Day beaches, 730 delegates from 44 nations are locked in a luxury hotel in New Hampshire. Britain's brilliant economist John Maynard Keynes arrives with a plan: create a neutral world currency called Bancor. No single country would dominate, but America's Harry Dexter White has other ideas, and America has something no one else has: gold. 2/3 of all the gold on planet Earth. While Europe is destroyed and Asia occupied, America stands untouched, unmatched, unstopped. The deal was simple but revolutionary. The dollar would be backed by gold at $35 per ounce. Every other currency would be pegged to the dollar. Want to trade internationally? You need dollars. Want economic stability? Hold dollar. For 27 years, this system ruled the world, until one president made a decision that should have destroyed the dollar forever. Instead, it made it invincible.
I have directed Secretary Connolly to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
August 15th, 1971. Nixon cuts the dollar from gold. The entire global financial system, built on that gold promise, collapses overnight. Chaos. Every expert predicts the dollar's demise. Why would anyone want a currency backed by nothing? But Nixon and Kissinger have a plan, a secret plan, and it involves the hottest commodity on earth. 1974. Kissinger lands in Jeddah with an offer Saudi Arabia can't refuse. The deal: Saudi Arabia sells oil exclusively in US dollars, takes their profits and buys American treasury bonds. In exchange, America provides unlimited military protection. One by one, every oil nation falls in line. Overnight, the dollar isn't backed by gold anymore. It's backed by something even better, the one thing every country on earth desperately needs: energy. But there's a deeper layer to this empire, one most people never see. SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. It sounds boring. It's not. This is the Internet of money. Every day it processes $5 trillion in transactions. Every international wire transfer, every trade, every payment, it all flows through here. And here's the kicker: most transactions are in dollars, which means they pass through American banks. Every single one. The US government can see almost every major financial transaction on the planet. Who's paying who, for what, when. 2022. Russia invades Ukraine. Within 48 hours, Russian banks are cut from SWIFT. $300 billion in Russian reserves, frozen, disappeared. Poof. And this terrified every other country on earth, because they realized if it can happen to Russia, it can happen to anyone. China saw what happened to Russia, and they decided never again. For years, China's been building an alternative. They created CIP, their own SWIFT. They're signing deals to trade in yuan. They're even talking to Saudi Arabia about buying oil in yuan, not dollars. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the BRICS nations representing half of humanity. They're all talking about one thing: ending dollar dominance. The Europeans tried with the euro, went from 0 to 20% of global reserves in just a decade. Then the Greek debt crisis hit. Brexit happened. Turns out a currency needs more than good intention, it needs unity. And Europe couldn't deliver, so nations are buying gold. Record amounts. China, Russia, India, hoarding physical gold. like it's the 1800s again. And then there's crypto, digital currencies that don't need banks or governments. The ultimate challenge to dollar dominance, right? Wrong. Bitcoin was supposed to free us from government money, be the people's currency. But look at any crypto exchange. What's Bitcoin worth? Ethereum, $2,300. Every cryptocurrency on earth is measured against the dollar. And when crypto millionaires want to buy their mansions and Lamborghinis, they convert to dollars first. El Salvador tried making Bitcoin legal tender. The IMF, which lends in dollar, immediately threatened them. El Salvador backed down. The most used cryptocurrencies? Stablecoins. And what are they pegged to? The US dollar. So the dollar beats everyone. It's invincible, right? Not quite, because the dollar faces an enemy more dangerous than China, Russia, or crypto combined. And it's coming from inside America itself. 2020, COVID hits. The Federal Reserve creates $4 trillion in new dollars. Poof, out of thin air. America's national debt, $34 trillion and climbing. That's $100,000 for every single American citizen. But here's the insane part. The world keeps lending America money. China holds over $1 trillion in US debt. Japan even more. They're basically funding America's deficit spending. Why would they do that? Because they need dollars for international trade. So they buy treasury bonds, IOUs from the US government. This gives America the cheapest loans on earth, but there's a cost: inflation. When you print trillions, money loses value. Americans feel it at the gas pump, the grocery store, everywhere. The temptation is irresistible. Print money, fund anything you want. But every empire that debased its currency eventually fell. Rome, Spain, Britain. Is America next? So with all these problem debt, inflation, sanctions, weaponization, why does the dollar still dominate? Let's be honest, this is why. 800 military bases in 80 countries, 11 aircraft carrier groups, a defense budget larger than the next 10 countries combined. Who protects the oil tankers sailing from the Persian Gulf? Who keeps the shipping lanes open? Who guarantees global trade? The dollar is backed by the most powerful military in human history. Try creating a competing currency when you don't have that. But there's more. America has Silicon Valley, Wall Street, the world's top universities, the most dynamic innovation ecosystem ever created. Money flows to opportunity, and for all its problems, America still offers something no one else can match: innovation, rule of law, property rights, and political stability. China's yuan, controlled by an authoritarian government. Europe's euro, no political unity. Gold, try buying a coffee with it. Every alternative has fatal flaws. But here's the secret that really makes the dollar unstoppable: the network effect. Imagine you want to create a new currency. You convince Brazil to use it, great. But Brazilian companies need to trade with China, who uses dollars. So Brazil needs to convert your currency to dollars anyway? The dollar sits at the center of the global financial web. It's the universal translator. Every currency can connect to every other currency through dollars. Breaking this network would require coordinated global action. Every major economy would need to simultaneously agree to abandon the dollar. In a world where countries can't agree on climate, trade, or human rights, coordinating a currency revolution impossible. And the data proves it. Despite all the talk of de-dollarization, the dollar's share of global reserves has only dropped from 65% to 60% in 20 years. So what does all this mean for you? For your savings, your future, your children's world? The dollar controls the world because it is the world. It's not just American anymore. That phone in your hand, designed in California, made in China, shipped from Vietnam, every step priced in dollars. Your morning coffee, Colombian beans, traded in dollars. Your car's fuel, purchased in dollars. America's power might fade. Its military could shrink. Its economy could stumble. But the dollar is no longer just a currency. It's the operating system of global commerce. And operating systems don't change easily. So the next time you hold a dollar bill, remember, you're not just holding money. You're holding the most successful instrument of power ever created. The question isn't whether the dollar controls the world. The question is what happens when it doesn't. What do you think? Can anything replace the dollar? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this opened your eyes to how money really works, share it with someone who needs to see this.